Let me, okay. Let me get within codealia and do rate jasmine here.
Mm-hmm. RVM gem set use 2.1.1.
That's what I have it. My path file is kind of wacky here. I usually, this was set originally to 1.9.3. That's what my machine was set, and everything was fine. Since trying to use 2.1.1 with Cordelia, like everything's crazy. It's not working the way it keeps telling me that like there's something going on with my path files, and it's not at the head. It's like it's gone a little crazy.
Okay.
I use 1.9.3, and it's relatively fine, and that's fine. But
Uh,
2.1.1, whatever reason, it's not happening here
okay.
on the Mac.
Well, let's just try a few things out before we switch to the tiny screen of Ubuntu. First of all, let's see if Teammate works. Can you just kick off Teammate real quick? Okay, yeah, hit exit.
It wants. I think when it was first installed, everything was written to 1.9.3, and now that I'm doing 2.1.1, it's a totally different path, and I haven't updated the path files, and
So,
so things are like kind of like kooky on it.
could you do ls dash lah?
LAH.
You need to put a space before the dash. List all hidden is what lah stands for. Okay, could you do echo the rvmrc? You need to put a space before the dot.
Yeah, of course, that would make sense.
Okay. I'm gonna type a command into the chat. Actually, could you do rvm list? Okay.
All my rubies are there, but
Yep. Okay. Could you do rvm gem set list?
yeah.
Okay. Could you do rvm gem set create codealia? Cannot create gem set when using system Ruby. Okay. Could you do rvm use 2.1.1? Oh yeah.
What is this? I keep getting this. What is this one? I mean, like this is like DBA system admin stuff. I don't understand like where this is coming from. This internal gem. This is a huge problem. And he's like, I get it all the time. I'm not quite sure where it's coming from.
Uh,
What
rvm.
is that?
We'll do that in the background when we switch over to using Ubuntu, but I want to get that going. Just looking up for a good way to uninstall RVM. That would work. Number 2 isn't needed. RVM is a gem. Okay. Yeah, it's just a shell script. Okay. That's the second best. Okay, yeah. So I'm pasting the command in the Google Hangout chat.
What
So this is
what
gonna
is what is
nuke
this going to do?
all your
It's going to
gems.
what?
It's gonna nuke all your gems.
Okay. And then you want to rewrite them from scratch? So I don't get this
Yep.
error? Oh my God.
Well, hopefully.
Oh my God. Oh well, my Rails isn't working on this anyway. I'm just doing Ruby and all my like front end stuff on this, which is fine, but just that Linux screen
Okay,
is funky.
do the command again, but with sudo, it looks like.
Okay.
You can control C
Permission
it right now.
denied, right.
Yeah.
Control Alt to get out of this?
And it should be control C or what? Command C, I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, this is what you're saying, permission denied. Did you find this exactly on, just want to make sure this works. On, what is it? The Stack Overflow?
Mm-hmm. Alright, while that uninstalls, let me just quickly look at the install command.
Installing all the gems?
Yep,
Versions?
everything.
That's weird.
What's your version of OS X?
It's Mountain Lion. That's 10.8 point something.
Okay.
I think it's 8.5 maybe.
OS X Mountain Lion. Just making sure there's nothing special.
Ten point 8.5.
Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Why is this? Why is this? It's kind of stalled. It's like it's not moving.
I would just leave it. Let's let it
Okay.
go and switch over to Ubuntu.
Okay. Let me. I don't know. Anyway,
Actually, if
yeah.
we have 5 minutes to kill on system and stuff, let's get you full screen in there. It's really easy. Let me just look it up real quick. Ubuntu VM installed guest editions for VM guest editions full screen. Okay.
Yeah, but that should work.
So go to your VM.
Yeah, it's just weird. Okay.
Just leave it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on my VM. You want me to go to the terminal?
Click on your VM. You're currently not in your VM.
Yeah. Yeah, I am on my virtual machine, but
Oh, there we
what does
go.
he want me
Okay,
to do?
click on devices in the upper menu.
Oh, dash home.
No, across the top of your Mac. Devices.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. Insert guest additions.
Yep.
Run.
Mm-hmm.
Guess that's authenticate. I saved it in another file. That's part of my administrivia stuff to do. Should I kill that? I don't know what's. It's just easy for me to stay 1.9.3, but I guess I can't. I got to upgrade sometime. But yeah. Well, look at that. It looks like it did something.
Yeah.
Do I do? You said it was the gem set, right? So do I do gem set minus V to see if I have any left?
Nope. It's gone. Everything is gone.
What do you mean everything's gone?
We uninstalled RVM. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's how's the
I thought it was just the
guest
gem.
additions
Okay.
going?
Okay. I thought it was just the gem set from it. Okay.
Oh, it's still doing that? Okay. Well, okay, if we want to do that...
I don't want to. I still want to continue with that Angular stuff when we finish this. Okay. I just RVM minus V. Oh, sorry. Let me just let me get higher up. And actually, it's not even on this level. It's on this level. I hope that was okay to close.
All right. So let's just assume that we don't need to do anything special for our RVM.
There we are, 1.1.8 RVM. That's what it shows, unless I'm in the wrong section. RVM use 1.9.3. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Could you type RVM get stable?
Yeah, I've used that command before.
Okay. That might take a while to run. Looks like your guest additions is done. Click back into Ubuntu. And close
Hit
down
return.
your virtual machine.
Okay.
And open the settings. What's it called? Yeah, from the thing that launches it. Open the settings for this virtual machine.
Okay, so you want me to shut down the machine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because everything in it will shut down. Alrighty.
Could you pull up your terminal real quick again?
For
As you
for
close it.
virtual machine
No, for
the Mac.
go ahead and hit close on that. But yep, the RVM thing that we were doing.
Here. RVM reloaded.
I need to get a better view of this.
RVM will by default remove gems to remove only Ruby.
I can read.
Oh, okay. No, I'm
You,
reading
hit full
myself.
screen. Hit your green button so I can see this full screen. It's your green plus full screen. All right, scroll up.
Mm-hmm.
Could you do this command again, but with sudo?
The same command?
Mm-hmm.
Sudo, oh, it doesn't remember, hold on.
Well, you need to hit up first, and then you...
I don't think this was the same. Yeah, it wasn't the same. Wasn't the same
Just
stuff
sudo
that I...
rvm gets
Ah,
stable.
there it is.
No. Just sudo rvm gets stable.
What didn't the other one do?
Well, it looked like it didn't do things according to the output.
I don't. I've done that a couple of times.
All right. Well, we let that run. Let's go over to your VirtualBox host thing.
And you wanted me... I'm going to power it on, or you want me to go to settings, I think?
Yeah, go to settings on it.
And go to system.
Go to display. Enable 3D acceleration. Hold on, I'm reading the other stuff.
3D. Okay.
In case...
I thought in the instructions...
update.
Remember, show on full screen seamless.
I guess it was. Oh my god. Need to check that.
Let me just pull up. Let me pull up that page. Let me pull up the page where it gave instructions. Unless you're on that page.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull up the page where it gave instructions on how to do that. And I put that page under, let's see, that file under install update Mac. No, that was Rails Mac. Was that, or was that under, that was another file, Angular. So, no, that was another file. I put it under, I think, let me do a simple version. Show virtual machine full screen. It's not the same thing.
Anyway, can we look at the settings one more time?
There we go. Yeah, sure. Where do you want me to go?
Let's go to system. And go to display. How come enable 3D acceleration isn't checked?
You said, and you said the word, and then you said, "Wait a minute, I'm looking." You were still reading, so I didn't. I thought you were still looking at stuff. You're reading it from somewhere.
All right, so hit settings and go back to display. Uh, and click on the other tabs in there, remote display and video capture. All right. Some guides said you have to reboot your computer, but not all of them said that. So let's just boot up the VM now.
Okay.
Actually, go ahead and hit General in there again on the settings.
Yeah, this is it.
Advanced.
I mean, I have this check shown full screen, but there was something else after you downloaded it.
Okay. All right, yeah. Just hit OK and boot up the VM.
Okay. Okay.
All right, now go into the menu bar at the top.
What do you want me to open up?
All of them. Nothing looks good there. Go over one. Go into settings. Machine settings. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the same settings. Just click display real quick. Okay. Go ahead and close out of this and log into Ubuntu.
Okay.
All right, now go up into View.
Switch to full screen.
I'm tempted to do that, but I want to first let it finish loading. Let's look under devices real quick while we wait.
Whoa.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, so you probably have to reboot your computer. Because you basically turned on a piece. Oh, it's looking good actually. If it does that again, we might need to reboot your computer. But isn't it? What happens right now if you hit the plus, the green plus?
That looks like it's, that looks like the same thing as switch to full screen, right?
Yeah.
Well,
This
now
is bigger
we
than it was
switch to full
before.
screen. Yeah,
Okay.
you can go back to window mode anytime by pressing host. Where's host.+f? Where is that?
Defines it right there.
Note that the host key is currently defined as left. Oh, okay, the left one. Plus F. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, let's see what that does.
Screen, the main menu bar, pressing host.plus home. Alrighty. I wonder which one that would consider home. Oh. Alrighty. Is that full screen enough?
I mean, you tell me. Is that gonna work for you?
Yeah. Can you?
I can see everything's fine.
Okay. I can't. It's not gonna be. I'm not gonna be able to get back into the
Yeah, that's fine.
Google Chat or whatever. I might have to enable it over here as well.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I would just say kick open a terminal and go to your codealia directory.
This is what you wanted. Alrighty. Okay. And what was it you wanted to do? That was the first thing?
Uh,
You
rake
wanted me to try
jasmine.
teammate session again?
No, just rake jasmine.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. That should pop up one by itself. Port, okay. Port 888.
Yeah, so go to localhost 8888.
I think it's okay. 12 specs, 1 failure. Okay. And then I had one where I saw the actual page.
Right.
I'm just going to open. Yeah?
Could you open in your Sublime editor and get your code up there? Code and tests.
Okay. That's not important. The code was here. Okay. The tests were here. It's not gonna, does it? Yes. And let me get that. Okay. And that was here. Okay. I'll just do that. Okay. And that's why I wanted to be looking at that jasmine.
Are you able to kill your file tree on the left side of the window, just so you get more real estate now that you know you got your 2 files open? If not, it's fine, but...
I've actually never, I've always kept it, I've always used it.
Okay, don't worry about
enough? Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's good. So
anyway, the container controller spec, that's the IDE container controller, is, yeah, that's the before each, and that was the old one. So what I did, wait a minute. This has to, this is, what is this? Where's the set editor? Update preview, update editor. Oh. I think this is Brian's updated version.
okay.
And I think most of these tests have been updated, except for the one that's throwing an error.
All right, I think it would be useful. Let's go to one of the ones that says like to not throw.
Here, not to throw. It's update preview, not to throw.
Okay, so let's make that test fail. What would we need to do to the code on the left to make that test go red?
That would be getting it to throw an error. Updating the code so that it actually threw an error.
Okay.
And to to get update preview to throw an error, it would, and that is not to throw, it should not throw an exception. This is without a preview. Without a preview, I guess it wouldn't get a value. But this says without a preview. This is where this is what to me is backwards. This is like what doesn't make sense. Without a preview, you should have a default value. If there's no preview, there should be something in there that's the default so that it doesn't throw an exception. So
let's, on the right-hand side of your screen, line 64, put double slash in front of that, comment it out, essentially. And then save that file.
It doesn't save like normal. Yeah, it's Control S.
Looks
oh,
like
Control
S, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And refresh your Jasmine browser. Okay.
Still on failure.
It's interesting. Could you right-click in the browser and inspect element? And hit debugger. And we're going to detach this from the browser. So you see your rack of buttons all the way over on the right of this attached screen.
At the bottom, you mean?
Yeah.
Expand panes.
That is one over from the edge. Not the X, but the one left to the X.
This one? Showing separate window?
Mm-hmm. There we go. Now we can make that properly sized. Make it a little bigger. This is all the JavaScript that's loaded.
Are you saying this is what's making it fail?
No. This is everything that we're playing with in the browser.
Okay.
I don't care about that one failure. Scroll down on the left menu bar where you can see the list of files. Yep. Keep on. Oh.
That's it.
Oh, okay. You see the one that's __ controller spec?
Yeah, this one.
Yep, click into that. Great. Yep, this is our test. And scroll down until the 60s.
This is the part that was that you wanted commented out.
Put a debugger breakpoint on line 68.
Right before the code. Right? I'm sorry, you're breaking out.
Click on the number 68. Okay. Now go back to the browser and refresh the page.
Whoa, what just happened?
You caught your breakpoint. Click over to your console.
So it's telling me what is contained in everything right at that breakpoint of 68 within line 68 within the code.
Yeah. Hey, go ahead and open scope right there.
For the function section.
So,
What are you trying to get at, John, with this?
this is your code in
Mm-hmm.
action.
Mm-hmm.
And JavaScript's in the browser, so that's why we're in the browser. So, show me your Sublime again. Look up.
Yeah, this is important that I get this.
All right, and we're working on update preview. Okay, so scope dot. Okay, so go back to your browser tool and type. Go to the console.
Not here, not the
Nope.
browser, not the Jasmine suite itself,
The dev
which
tool.
keeps churning. But the dev tool?
Uh-huh. There's an option in the top bar called console. It's all the way to the left.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's okay.
All right.
I'm using it now.
You got to pull your screen up. You've got the bottom half cut off. Okay. Down there, type $.preview.
Where? Here on the
The bottom
console?
line. It's a console, yeah.
I'm sorry. What do you want me to type?
$scope.preview. All right. Type $scope.editor. All right. Type. Pull up your Sublime. All right, so we were just looking at those two variables in the conditional statement, scope.preview and scope.editor.
Yeah, these two here under update preview.
So yeah, let's type scope.editor.getValue.
I think that's how it was written.
You need
It's a
parentheses.
function. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to be sure.
Okay, so we got an error. I think this was the error that Brian was asserting that doesn't happen.
What do you mean Brian was asserting that it didn't happen?
Okay, well look at the language of your test.
The test says that the test says that it should not throw an exception error, and this is throwing a type. It is throwing an error.
Right. So if we're doing a test about that, we should know how to make this fail. That's what I was having us do here.
This is a spec scope dot update preview, and we did here scope dot editor, not update preview. But this is scope dot editor.
That's fine. Right. So go back into your debugger. You need to take out the debugger breakpoint.
Okay. Back to the debugger breakpoint.
Yeah, it's your
I think
third
that
tab.
it was.
No, it's your third tab. Yep. And click that green button to remove it. And then hit the play button in the left corner.
This one.
That should release the breakpoint.
Now what?
You can see in your browser, I think it should have finished. Yep, okay, so bugger breakpoint was released, everything finished. Alright, so now the way that we could make this error out, I think, is go into your Sublime and on the left side of the screen. Pull your screen over so I can see line numbers on the left side.
Okay. Is that better?
Yep, take line 7 and cut and paste it above the conditional.
Oh, whoa. Cancel. Let me just get this thing for copy. Did I just pull?
You're
I
going to
just
need to
pulled
use
out
the
a full
control
screen.
key.
Yeah, I'm on a Mac and everything's command usually. But
Yeah.
let's see. How did they say? They said for me to do command plus F to go full screen.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, there it is. Virtual machine, devices, view, switch to full screen.
I think it's already like full screen in its own mind right now. Are you able to drag around that window that it's in?
Yeah, it's wow, what happened? I just hit command. I did command C to command copy. View, switch to full screen. Let me just switch out of full screen.
Oh, see, you hit host C. Um,
I did host plus C, switch to scale mode. Okay, host
mm-hmm.
plus F, but that should still work, right? Switch to
Maybe.
seamless mode. Wow. Auto size, guest display, auto resize, adjust window size. Switch to. How can they have host plus C? People work on Macs. They can't do that.
You should probably change your host key to something different, like caps lock.
Like I use that all the time. I use that without even thinking. That's for everything. Like all of my applications, I do control copy and control paste. That's like a basic.
Yeah. All right. Go into your virtual machine
World.
settings under machine.
About VirtualBox.
No, one over machine.
Settings. Basic system.
Could you go back to that drop-down menu?
Yeah. Why?
We need to change your host key to caps lock. Let me look up how we do that. VirtualBox, change host key.
How in the world?
Okay. Could you go to your launcher? Actually, yeah, go to your launcher.
Where is that on here? To launch the box?
Yeah, to launch the box, that thing that was in your bottom menu.
Under settings here?
Yeah, go to settings there. Actually, no, go to. Is there like a different, if you scroll up top, what's under file right now?
Under file here in the launcher?
Top menu bar.
Virtual Media Manager.
Okay. Scroll over one to the left.
Preferences?
Preferences. Mm-hmm.
Default machine. Input?
Yeah, let's go there.
Should be something here, right? Under save state, reset all warnings. Rename, remove, refresh. Preferences, refresh, power off. Can I create a new one?
Yeah, you should be able to. I'm looking up. It's usually a place that you can define the host key explicitly.
Host key combination right here. Can I just change it? Yeah,
Oh
looks
yeah,
like I
there it
changed
is.
it.
Yep, change it to caps lock.
Why won't it let me? Oh my God. Why won't it let me type in it?
Well, don't type, just hit caps lock.
I have hit caps lock. Can we change it to something that like really is quite different?
They might not let you do beyond a certain keys. Let's try your. Do you have a right command key?
Yeah, I do have a right host.
Do you ever use it?
No, no. Well, yeah, if I'm, if I'm on the right-hand side, but
Mm.
yeah,
What
but I
about
can
your
do
right hand side?
host plus, like an F something function that I never use, like F12 for volume or whatever, something like that I never use, like F11 for mute.
I think it can only be
Oh,
one
shoot.
key. I mean,
Oh,
see if it'll let you do two keys in there.
right command plus, oh my God. Okay, you're right. It will only let me do one. So what
What
about,
about your right alt key?
yeah, I saw that. Yes. I rarely use, like, I can't even remember why I would use that. I
Okay.
rarely use alt like that. Okay?
Okay.
Why does it say host key
So hit
combination? Okay.
OK and reboot your VM.
Are you kidding me? Oh my Lord. Yeah, but I seem like it doesn't recognize. Doesn't say restart. I'm sorry. I can't, I use the command key all the time to copy and
Mm-hmm.
paste. And that's like a shortcut that's embedded in my brain.
Oh yeah.
I use it for everything, actually. So, okay, let me restart it again. So what was you were trying, so I'm still asking, what is it you're trying to tell me with, what is it you're trying to show me in that testing?
What I'm trying to do is get you comfortable with tests. You need to know exactly how to make them fail. Like you should be able to know exactly what they're testing, and you can go to the thing that they're testing and flip it one way and the other, and
And
see
make
the
it fail and
failure.
pass.
Yeah.
And that error that you generated, that was for the get preview or update preview error. So you went in and you chose one and you made it throw an error.
I was just checking to see that it even would raise an error under the right conditions, and it did. So now I'm just going to expose that condition to the test.
Oh, I see. And then you want me to test it so I can learn how to flip these back and forth. Because you can see I don't know what it is. To me, it seems like the tests are backwards in some way. It doesn't seem like there's something, like, to me, the tests seem reversed in some way. I'm still trying to, I can't even put it into words. But it's not working the way I think it would. The other tests seem so much more straightforward. There. Okay, and it came back. Oh, wow, it came back full screen.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, this is so much easier. Oh my God. And then you wanted me to start a rake jasmine
Mm-hmm.
session.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wanted me to open up
Could you hit,
Sublime.
let's go into full screen mode with your right alt key and F.
Okay. You want me to go into full screen mode with Alt key.
Alt F.
It didn't have F in there. Okay. Yes, it did. The original one. Alt F. I'm afraid to touch this.
I guess that's not doing anything.
But I am
Go
in full
into
screen.
View. No, you're not as full screen as you were before. Go
I
into
wasn't?
View.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't. Switch to full screen.
Yep.
Post plus F. Right. Okay. Yes, this is more full screen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. But anyway, let me get Jasmine so to show the errors, and then I think we saved it, so I can see. Yeah, I can save the one the error you made happen.
Yep.
And here's the suite. It was 88. Okay, so there's error. Okay, so what is it you want to show me? Because I can see this is important.
Right. So full screen your code.
Okay.
And cut and paste line 7 to above the conditional.
This was what I was doing. Okay, copy. Hold on, it's Control C, and paste before the conditional, meaning before the update preview function.
No, the conditional is the if statement. So within the regular function, but above the if statement.
You want me to put it up here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and take it
Yep.
out from here? Comment it
No,
off
you
from
can
here?
leave it there.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so save the file.
Control S. Uh-huh.
And actually, we can yeah, no, that's good. So let's go refresh your Jasmine view in the browser.
Alrighty. I don't know how to minimize this. Hold on, escape. How do I minimize this?
Put your cursor all the way to the top left.
There we go. That wasn't minimized. Oh my God, did I close it?
You didn't close it, it's just minimized.
Yeah, but where is it?
It's minimized. That's what minimize means. Minimize means make it go hidden. Click your Sublime. No, X that out.
Where is it? Usually it's on the bottom,
Stop.
minimize somewhere.
Listen. You see your Sublime thing in the left menu? Click it.
Oh.
Okay, now if you don't want
Linux
to
is
actually
so
minimize,
weird. Okay, hold
that's
on.
normal. This is absolutely normal behavior, even on a Mac. I used to have a Mac. That's what happens when you minimize.
Okay, alrighty. I
so
normally
click
go elsewhere, but
Sublime.
fine. Go ahead.
Click Sublime again. And if you don't
Okay.
want to minimize, click that button to the farthest right again, and it will return it to the unmaximized version, the like intermediate version. So you can shuffle around your windows. Yep. Okay. So anyway, refresh the browser.
Okay. 3 failures.
Yeah.
How'd you get 3?
Well, probably because we have 2 tests that are asserting that an error has been thrown.
Because here all we did was change this scope.preview. This is preview if scope.preview. Why did you get 3
I would
errors?
expect that the failures only happen for the test relating to update preview.
And the test for update preview would be should not throw an exception. This is without an editor. Should not throw an exception.
Yeah, I see 78 and 67 both talk about exceptions not being thrown. And those are probably, I would guess, 2 failing tests now.
The update preview.
Right. Okay, so let's now think about this a little bit. Let's see if we can puzzle out why
the change that we introduced over to the code on the left is throwing an error.
Well, let's see. Right at the very beginning, you set the scope.preview HTML. You basically told it to go and get the value from the editor and put it in this preview.html file.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're saying if scope.preview, so that if it's true, the condition isn't set, and that scope.editor is also true, which it looks like it should be, because up here you set them.
Where do we set them?
Up here you call them with their value. You call the scope.preview.html, and you also called scope.editor.
Okay.
And
if I call them, what is that? Like, just because I called it doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, but you called it here. It looks like that's true. Yeah. This is the one that actually checks that it's true.
Right.
This is the one that it's here on this line, this conditional, the if statement here, that it checks that both are true, and then it sets it.
Right.
So right here, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think we could maybe step back into the browser debugging thing. Well, that might just be a lot of screen moving. Let's just look at the code.
Okay.
On the right-hand side of the screen, on line 63, notice that we set preview to null. Line 63. So you know right off the bat. Could you scroll back up on the left side? So right off the bat that null evaluates to falsy, so already that conditional shouldn't be occurring. Because one of them is coming in as false, but that, whatever the case, let's set that aside for now. The other thing we're talking about is scope.edit.
Go ahead, scope.editor.
Yeah, let's dig around on the left-hand side and see if you can tell me where scope.editor is defined.
Here, right here. Well, this is scope.editors, plural.
Yeah, plural. There's a singular one.
Wait a minute. Here, editor is equal to scope.editor in the initialized editor.
That is not correct. Editor there is a local variable, and it gets thrown at the end of that function, and that's not scope.editor. I was asking where is scope.editor defined, not where is editor defined.
Okay, hold on. You're right. Scope.editor. Well, you have this defined here, scope.editor is equal to.
Yep, that's where it's defined.
The set editor function.
Yep. So basically, for scope.editor to be defined, set editor has to happen first.
Correct.
You with me?
Yes, that's correct. I'm with you there.
So over in your test, we commented out line 64. What effect did that have?
Controller set editor. Oh, it didn't set the editor. It didn't give a value to scope $scope.editor. It was never set. So you never set the editor.
Right.
So then if you never set the editor, scope.editor, that get value, this doesn't actually happen. This doesn't happen, right?
Well, here's how it works out. Here's how it evaluates. Scope.editor hasn't been assigned. And let's actually go to the browser and open a console. We don't need to dig into this files. We'll just type in the console. One nice thing about JavaScript is that any browser with a dev tool is a JavaScript runtime environment. So just right-click and inspect element, and then switch over to the console. You know how you can do IRB in Ruby? This is
Yeah.
IRB for JavaScript. And detach that with that button over on the right.
Alrighty.
Let's make it bigger.
Okay.
So just type any random gibberish right now into the console and hit enter. Random is not defined. Okay, now call random dot and make up a function name and call it on that.
Random dot get value.
Right. So it's raising errors. If something's not defined, it's not going to let you call a function on it.
You know what? You know what I don't. Okay. You know what to me is confusing about these tests? Like when the code is running, it goes from top to bottom. Like I know with this code, it steps through one at a time, goes through the if loop, steps through one at a time. With the tests, like I'm not quite sure which pieces of the program are being run for which test. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
This is update preview. I would think to test this update preview, I would come and test it through the scope here. But
well,
the way that we actually,
we do every time we want to. Basically, we set up some like background steps, and then we trigger scope.update preview, and then we make an assertion of, oh, this happened or this did not happen. And so on line 68, scope.update preview. I'm actually yeah. I'm actually a little disturbed by the fact that there aren't parentheses on update preview. Do not throw.
oh, is it missing? No,
Well,
it closes. It closes out here, right? Are there not enough
no, you're
parentheses?
fine.
The describe block ends. Where does that describe block end?
You have code folding, right? You can just fold it to see.
Yeah. What do you want me to do?
Nothing in particular.
What parentheses were just
No, I just typed them to myself. I was looking at the parentheses. Anyway, line 68 is calling scope.preview with some background steps already set up, or maybe already not set up.
You mean scope 68, the scope.update preview?
Mm-hmm.
Not to throw, so it goes here, which is here, scope.update preview, and that's the one that's not supposed to throw an exception. And then in here, call scope.preview.html with scope.editor value set in there. That's the parameters it puts in there.
Yeah. So, like the before each that happens above it and then way above it, there's like multiple before eaches. There's this local one, but there's also a before each way at the top, which you probably don't have to think too much about. Yeah. But, you know, all the before eaches that are in scope, which are those three
those
from up top.
And this third one, wasn't there a third one?
Yeah. Line 68. Go back around there. Yeah, the before each there on the 60s. So those are all setting up state.
Yeah, here's one. Here's a third one. Here.
Well, we're not testing the set editor, so scroll down to update preview on 60.
Here.
Yep. So those are all setting up state. yeah, those are all setting up state, and then line 68 actually calls the thing we're testing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're saying, given this setup state, we expect something to happen or not to happen. You know, that's basically how testing works.
Mm-hmm.
We take our thing that we made and we test it in different environments.
So
You know,
here, scope
environments
dot
where,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, you were gonna, yeah, no, go ahead.
I'm just because based on what you're saying, if there are 3 before eaches they have to take into account to run this test. And in this scope.preview, the before each for this specific test, it sets the scope.preview equal to null,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yep.
then if it's equal to null, and it says here should not throw an exception, when you pull scope.update preview with scope.preview set to null, that means that there's no scope.preview.html cannot be set.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it's null, that means that this cannot be true. Because to me, this is asserting scope, get this preview, go and get scope.editor, get the value from there, and then put it in and preview the HTML version of it. But
Yeah.
scope.preview, right? Isn't that what it's saying? But it's telling.
I'm a little worried about the way you worded your sentence there. Scope.preview is the name that we've given to a DOM element.
Mm-hmm.
The word preview doesn't magically cause any action to occur. It's not causing any preview magic to happen. It's just the name of something. We call it preview because that's where we actually have a preview occurring, but the word preview isn't the magic word that makes it happen.
So, okay, so John, walk me through then why this is failing. I still don't get why it's failing. Like, what is it specifically that's making it fail? To me, would be this: you set scope.preview equal to null, and it's coming here, and you're saying go and scope.editor. You're basically trying to give it a value. You're saying go and get scope.editor, get a value from it, and put it inside scope.preview.html. So that scope.preview is no longer empty. It's no longer null. And so it throws an error because it's expecting it to be null based on what you said here in the before each. Is that correct?
The before each doesn't have an assertion. Before each is taking scope.preview and making sure it becomes null. Let me pull up the code real quick on my side. I just need to be able to go up and down in the file fast just to look at certain things.
Set editor. Controller.set editor. Here. So this is scope.editor. That doesn't happen. So they did.
All right, and we're gonna look at spec. What's it called? JavaScript. Codealia IDE controller, data controller. I just want to get a general idea of where we set certain things in the file. I have a slightly different file than you, but scope preview normally is element up. Right. All right, yeah, that's all I needed to see. All right, I'm looking at your screen again now. I
know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. We might want to see a happy, like we're only looking at the sad path right now. It might be easier if we focus on the happy path and come back to this when you see how it should work, and then maybe me breaking it will make a little more sense. Scroll down to line 95 in the right window.
Here.
Okay, so yep, so that's the happy path, line 94. So let's go into the browser and actually open
Mhm.
debugger and the dev tool.
Okay. Uh-huh. You want to open up a new
Yep. So,
debugger?
no. This is not. That's the console. Click over to the third tab to get into the debugger.
Oh, sorry, that was here. Uh-huh.
And scroll down the file list. And fifth one up from the bottom. Open that file.
The controller spec?
Uh-huh.
Container controllers.
The one above it.
Controller spec.
Yep, now scroll to line 94.
Okay.
And set a breakpoint.
I
And
did.
refresh the page. Alright, now we can either type in the console or we can inspect the right-hand window where it actually gives you information about the things. So we can pop open function scope right now on the right. Oh,
Is that
open the one.
open the second one?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. So go ahead and open scope.
Editors.
Yep,
Update
this is all
editor.
the stuff that we've defined in our background steps, in our before eaches.
Uh-huh.
They've done a bunch of things to get our state so that we can go on the happy path. The two elements that we care about in this function is scope.preview and scope.editor. Let's pop those two open.
Is that the scope.preview and scope.editor?
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yep, that's what scope.editor is huge because that's basically the ACE editor. And scope.preview is a lot smaller. It's only a DOM element.
What did you say? This is scope.preview. What did you say the other one? This is the scope.preview object. And why was scope.editor so big?
Because it's everything. It's holding the entire ACE editor code.
Okay.
So there's a lot in there.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, go to the console.
Uh,
I mean, it's definitely not a bad thing to stare at those.
no, I'm kind of looking at it because there's
sort of get a
like
feeling for things.
This is a totally different environment. This is
Yeah, it's the insides of what's happening. It's something that definitely you could explore for a while. It's good to do. But just type for now. Type $scope.
Hold on. Let me just get a power source before my machine
Sure.
shuts down. Hold on.
Yep.
Oh. I think so. Charging. Okay. Let's try again. Ooh. Okay, sorry, that was a bit of an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
My computer's gonna die in like 5 minutes or something. Okay, go ahead.
So in the console bar across the bottom, type $scope.preview.
I'm not quite sure where I am. This user interface is okay. $scope.preview.
Mm-hmm.
Object.
Yeah, that's not a very exciting readout. Type of scope.preview. And you can use the up arrow here, so you don't need to retype the phrase.
Yeah, you said type of one word.
Type of, yep. One word, yep.
Space.
And then $scope.preview.
Why did it just disappear the other one?
Well, that's the way up arrow behavior works.
Type of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did it backwards. Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go
So now
ahead,
it's
hit
object.
return there. Oh, that's sort of boring. I was hoping it was going to say HTML. Oh, do scope.preview and then square bracket 0.
Like that, right next to each other.
Mm-hmm. 0 in the middle.
Oh.
So now it's at least giving us some more information. It's a DOM element. Let's actually do something more interesting. Do scope.preview.html with parentheses.
Nothing in there, empty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Cool. It tells
Yep.
you what it is, specifically what it is you're going to be getting out what the HTML element is, exactly what it is, the div
Yep,
ID.
it reads it out as a string. And
Okay.
now let's write some stuff in there. Hit up arrow and then put in there just a random string like hello world.
And you're saying it'll write it from here?
Hmm.
Can I see it in the
Now type
browser?
scope.preview.html.
Like that?
Without the hello world part, yeah.
Yeah.
And
enter?
And enter, yep.
Oh, okay. Preview.html. I think the last one before, right, had the div ID as editor. Here's my question. Does that mean that if I go into the browser, I'll be able to see hello world?
Unfortunately not, because we don't have this HTML displayed on a page, but if you want to turn on the Rails server...
Yeah, I would be able to see it, because I would have gone and written to that. With JavaScript, I would have gone and actually written to that div ID editable.
Yep.
So what's the point you're trying to make with this? Okay, I got it. I now see what scope.preview, what it does. It goes into the editable div in that workshop 2, and it writes content to it, like writes some words. So that's the happy path.
Yeah, and that's actually how the whole dang thing works, right there in a nutshell. You have the right DOM element, and you stick some HTML in it from the editor. It's like brain dead simple. Just getting the things in the right place to do that is what most of the code is about right now, but this is the heart of it right here. Scope.preview.html. You can read out of it, and it's a two-way thing. So when the page first loads, the editor is empty, but it reads out of here, scope.preview.html with empty parentheses, and it reads out the HTML that has already been put in there by the page, and it reads it into the editor. And so the editor then displays that HTML. And
yeah,
then
but if the HTML is empty, like that preview, that HTML with just the brackets is empty, it'll just read div ID. When you ask it, well, I haven't put anything in there. What's in there? It'll just read what the element is. It'll give you back, okay, I'm a div ID is editable. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
So this is why it doesn't throw an error or doesn't throw an exception. Because
Well,
even
I
when it's
don't
empty,
actually
it
know
reads the
about
div
that.
ID.
When in our tests we define scope.preview to be null and then call HTML on that, I'm not actually sure what that does. Let's type null.html parentheses.
You
I
mean
wouldn't be surprised.
scope.preview and then null? No, you
No,
can't.
just type the word null.html.
Okay. Null has no properties.
Okay, so that would have raised an error. Do it again with a string inside the HTML.
So like string.html. Oh no, that might do
No. Type
something.
null.html, but in the parentheses have something in there. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but this is our sandbox, so we're sort of playing around and seeing the boundaries of what we're doing.
Hello, null.
And that too is going to raise an error. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if the code ever got to that point where scope.preview is null and we're trying to stick HTML in it, that would also raise an error. Now the other thing is scope.editor that we've been working with in that test. So first of all, just type scope.editor and hit return.
Okay.
I think it's going to be boring and say object.object, but
You're trying to show me what the happy path is like. Scope.editor and that's it? Because I think it's get value. It's
it
not
is.
that.
Let's just look at the object that it's on first.
Okay, scope.editor. I wonder what this does.
Yeah, go ahead and click
Whoa.
it. It basically opened up for you the insides. An object in JavaScript is just curly braces, and all the elements inside that hash are, well, most of these are functions. So we could do scope dot. Okay, let's actually play around. You got that screen there on your right? Type
That's cool.
scope.editor dot. You see there's search down here?
Search, yeah, right here.
Actually, no, let's not do search. Let's do the one above it. Let's pick one that's a function. So
Reset timer.
yeah, I think the dollar sign is necessary too. So do $sign op reset timer.
So these are all the functions that can work with scope.editor.
It's everything that scope.editor comes with.
Okay, it doesn't, but
We
that doesn't
didn't
really
have to do a lot of work
anything.
because we included it as a library, and then we just like turned it on and plugged it in. So okay, so it told you, by the way, that it's just a function.
Mm-hmm.
So hit up arrow and go to the end of your line and type toString.
Dot toString.
Yeah, .toString. And as you type it, you'll actually make it a capital S, not make it a camel case, not a snake case.
Like that?
Yeah, but take out the underscore.
Oh, it's not toString. Okay.
And then put parentheses on that.
Okay. What?
Yep, that just read out for you the definition of that function. And that maybe is a little bit cryptic. Let's pick something that you might recognize. Do scope.update preview. $scope.update preview.
Yeah, I don't think I've done that. Scope dot update.
It's a
Preview.
lowercase s.
Oh yeah, it is uppercase P, right?
I don't.
Update previews uppercase P for preview, right? I'd have to look at
I think.
your code. But anyway, I think it came with parentheses like that. I think it was that.
Yeah, don't do that though. Call toString on it.
Okay.
Actually, let's back up. Get rid of update preview and just type scope dot.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that you don't have completions. Start typing up, like update preview, but just up. I need to open the code.
Yeah, it doesn't auto complete for me.
That's too bad.
Does it work? It auto completes on yours?
Mm-hmm. But anyway, let me just hang on while I look up the method I want you to call.
John, I wanted to ask you two questions. Your JS
Wait,
fiddle.
not now.
Okay.
Not now. Yeah, type update preview, like we were doing before. With the capital P.
Yeah, it is.
And then
yeah.
oh yeah, just hit enter right there. Okay, so all it's telling you right now is you've called a function, or you haven't called it. I have a function for this reference.
Okay.
Now hit up arrow and type toString on that, or call
Right, like
toString
this?
on that, I should say. With parentheses, yep. Boom. That's your function. Do you recognize that code?
Yeah, I did. That is the code from the. I think that's the code from the actual function itself.
Yeah.
You know, from the code, not the
Yep.
test, not the spec, but the actual code for the
So,
control.
I don't think there's any one magic thing I can show you to make you understand this more. I think it's going to have to be something you just get used to in degrees, and I'm just trying to acclimate you to the environment. You need to set loss of debugger breakpoints at useful points in your test, and then hop over to the console and start inspecting things. Or, you know how we're before in the debugger and you saw that big menu on the right-hand side where we could see all the attributes listed out. You got to sort of get yourself into that rich environment so you can, like, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. And for the most part, only the tip of the iceberg matters. Like, you were sort of surprised by how much is in editor. And that is sort of surprising. But it's an entire library. And we're only interfacing with a tiny bit of it, so we don't actually need to care about all these functions that we're not going to call. We only call get value, right, and set value. But, like, you need to get into that workflow of, okay, so I'm doing JavaScript with Jasmine. So I've got these weird Jasmine tests I don't quite understand. What do I do to get comfortable? I mean, we'll circle back right after this into that sad path again one more time. But the thing is, you just have to immerse yourself in this code and call timeout at certain places and inspect things to get a feeling for
So yeah, so right now, that was the console, and right now in the debugger, I would just go and, I just go and
Yep, and then you have to click play in the upper left there after you take out your breakpoint. And beware, you set a new breakpoint.
Okay. How do you don't right-click and get rid of them?
And then you just left-click them off.
How come this one won't left-click off?
Well, that's off right there without the circle around it.
So green is on play.
Green is where you're being held at right now. And a circle means it's going to break there when it gets there. So if you just hit play, it'll release everything right now.
Got it. Okay, got it for debugger. Okay.
Yep. So let's go back to Sublime. It looks like you're absolutely full screen. So yeah, in the upper, reach up into the top of your screen there, not into the Mac, but the top of the Ubuntu on the left side. That's where your buttons are. You got pull away from your Mac and try again. No, you're in Mac mode now. Get out of Mac. Yeah, reach your mouse up into there. Upper left, not right.
That's it.
Yep. Hit that. Yep, third one. Yeah, so let's go back to Sublime.
So you want to go back down the SAT path, you said?
Yeah, so anyway, the happy path is that both the variables in the conditional are true, and then the code gets executed, and everything is happy. Now, of course, it's still happy if the conditional is false, as long as the conditional protects the code from getting called, right? Because what you have happening on line 8 is if you were to call scope.preview or scope.editor, if you were to call, things on them like HTML and get value when they are null or undefined or whatever falsy thing that they might be, you're going to start throwing errors and break your, the product will break. And
Yeah.
so basically,
Okay.
the whole point of this conditional on line 7 is to make sure that you never call those things in the wrong state. Like Brian could have just made sure he never calls update preview when stuff isn't right, but as a safety measure, you set up inside the function that even if I call it at the wrong time, it still won't break because I have the conditional to protect it from getting called if either of those things are falsy. And what I did on line 6 is I forced you to unprotect it, and then in the tests, we purposely made those things falsy, and as expected, they start throwing errors. And because our test is asserting, when I call this, it won't throw an error, that's why that test is failing.
I see. So this is where he came and he protected it. This is in this if conditional statement. That's what you're talking about. So he's saying that both have to be like true. They have to be set. Then you do this. But when you took this out of order, you didn't check to see if this was true.
Exactly.
That's why you're asking me. You're saying, is it true? I just assumed it was because you had sort of stated it. But you're saying it hasn't been checked to be true.
Right.
So if I commented this out, then those tests will pass. Okay.
Yeah, I think they'll pass, although we still have that line 64 commented out.
Hold on. Let me get edit. Undo. Edit.
So
undo. Okay. So let me just comment. I don't even know what to use to comment out code anymore. Hold on.
It's just 2 slashes.
No, I mean like the quick shortcut, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Control S.
Probably whatever shortcut you know with your Mac key works with the control key.
Yeah. So now, because this has been, and why did you take this out? I think you're the one who wanted this taken out, right? Why does it say F controller?
Oh, because you accidentally threw an F in there. Yeah, get rid of that.
Okay. Yeah. So this why did you want that commented out?
Well, there's 2 things that could blow up: scope.editor and scope.preview.
Uh-huh.
And the before each block only made one of them bad. I wanted to make both of them bad.
Because the before block there said that scope.preview will be null, so that made it false.
Right, but it didn't make scope.editor false. It actually did the thing to make it true.
Exactly.
Because as we discussed before, setEditor makes scope.editor defined.
So what he did here, this is interesting. So what he did here, he made scope.preview null, so he made it false, basically. But then he went in and he said for setEditor, which is here, he went and made it true. And does it call scope.setEditor? Yeah, he went and made the setEditor true. Why would he do that, though?
Well, he didn't make scope.setEditor true. He called it.
Yeah, he called it and he gave it a parameter, element parent.parent, right?
Yeah, I mean, when it gets called, it has to be called with an element, because that element gets passed off. On line 31, it says ace.edit parentheses element. That element comes right above it from the argument list, the second argument in the argument list. Yeah.
So basically, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
No,
explain. Well, I'm trying to figure out why he made this false, scope.preview false, but he allowed set editor to be true.
Well, because if you have, all right, well, just tell me this. Look in the Google chat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Actually, you don't have to. What does true and false, what does true and true evaluate to?
True and true evaluates to true.
All right, and false and false?
And false evaluates to false. And true
Okay,
and false evaluates to true. Double
No,
ampersand.
that is incorrect.
Double ampersand. Oh, sorry, it evaluates to false because they both sides have to be true. So
Yep.
true and false evaluates to false. No, it's not an or. It's a double ampersand. So both sides have to be true with double ampersand. So it
Exactly.
evaluates to false. But go ahead. So one is true and one is
Yep.
false.
And so what does that mean?
So it means that basically it's false.
Yep. And so he didn't need to make both of them false. I don't know why he actually bothered to make the second one true. It doesn't make a difference as long as one of them is false. They're both false as far as the conditional is concerned.
So having made that false, it should not throw. So basically saying, okay, with all these parameters set before each, basically to false, it still shouldn't throw an error. Without an editor, it shouldn't throw an error. And update preview. Okay, I'll look at it some more.
Yeah, so line 68 is calling the code that we're testing. Expect update scope.update preview. That is, I'm calling update preview right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, it states its assertion. You know, you could say should expect it to equal something. You know,
Mm-hmm. That would be true.
and because we know that if we don't have the protection of the conditional, that it would throw an error.
Correct. Oh, so
I mean, these aren't very exciting tests. It's just checking to make sure that you have a conditional there. But
oh, so that was all he wanted to do, was just basically check to see that if statement was correctly worded.
Mm-hmm.
And without an editor, control that editor element, scope that editor is equal to null. Oh, there it is. Without. Oh, wait. Without an editor, and that here, scope.editor controller make editable. Where is that? Controller.make editable. Where is the make editable?
Well, you probably have a search function. Try Control F.
I thought that was in here, though. Oh.
You didn't hit Control F.
I hit Command F.
Yep.
Okay. Let me just see if I can go in here and close this. Control F. Make editable. Why is that? Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Without an editor, make editable. Scope.editor is equal to empty array.
So what happens? Tell me what happens inside make editable.
Well, first of all, it looks like you're passing it the scope to the function. You're passing the scope and the element.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the attributes of the element.
Yeah, actually, that never gets used. but that's
Okay.
true.
Okay. Then scope.preview actually shows you that element, and
What?
scope.preview is equal to the element. You're taking the element that you were given and you're putting it into the scope.preview.
Correct.
And then scope.update editor, and then because it's a new element, you have to go and you have to call update editor,
Right.
which is up here. Call that a function so you can update it, and that's when it updates with scope.preview and scope editor is true. And then it updates, it sets the value of the scope editor with the preview.
Yep.
It basically resets the editor value with this newest element that was passed in.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and most importantly, that's where we get scope.preview from. Like you said, it gets assigned there.
Okay.
So you'll see that he's got a describe block where he does controller.setEditor, which gives a scope.editor, and then another one where he was making the other one true. He does the one that you were just looking at, make editable, which gives us scope.preview. So in each case, he's making one of them true, but the other one false.
Okay. And so he did that with update preview, and he's probably doing something
No, he did not
similar.
do that with update preview. Update preview is
Yeah.
the thing that he called. What he did to set it up was with the set editor and set editable. I mean, maybe you were saying what, maybe you had it right in your head, but the way it came out of your mouth made me think that you had it backwards, because the update preview command is the thing that needs the other two things to be called first. For update preview to work, set editor has to be called and set editable has to be called. And those have to be called because those define scope.editor and scope.preview. As long as both of those are called, then there's not going to be, well, then it will go on to the happy path inside update preview. If either of those are missing, it goes into the sad path, which isn't a problem because we've got the conditional to protect it, and that's all he's really checking.
So, okay, for update preview, what are the two functions that need to be called? You said set editor and set preview.
Set editor and
set
make
editor
editable.
And make editable?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can arrive at this inductively by saying, all right, well, I have to go on the happy path inside update preview. I have two things that I need.
Scope.preview has to be correct, and scope.editor has to be correct.
Exactly, and so you need to figure out where to get those. And when you search for those, you'll find
they're in
the
set
two
editor
functions at the bottom.
and make editable. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yep.
All right, I think I finally understood. So it looks like in the tests, basically the tests are they're testing how he set up the code.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, don't worry about what. I mean, there's enough like for now, learn to color within the lines. You know, like Brian's drawn the lines of the tests.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to learn to color within them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get up to that level where you're comfortable, you know, like, oh, if it's this, I can test it that way, and you're like comfortable flipping around your test this way and that, then you can start to ask yourself, well, how should I test this correctly? You know? And right now, I might actually argue with Brian about these tests, but that's like completely besides the point, because the point right now is just to learn how to test.
Okay. All right. I think this was commented out. Let me put this back in. He's already kind of, yeah.
I mean, to undo any changes that we've done, the easiest thing to do is just go to your terminal and type get reset -- hard.
Yeah.
So if you want to get back into this state before we start messing around with things.
Yeah. Um, just trying to get. Yeah, it was git reset -- hard.
Actually, before you do that, just do git status.
Change is not staged for commit.
Yeah. So it's telling you have 2 files with changes. So if you want to throw those away, you could do your git reset -- hard.
Space -- hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then do git status again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, because Git is tracking those files. If you give it a command like that, it'll throw it away back to the previous commit. So, there you go.
You had I was trying to find the URL. I don't have it anymore. You had JS Fiddle, I think, that had Jasmine testing on it to look at. And I had gone to it briefly, but now that I'm actually in the middle of Jasmine, but I couldn't find the URL again. That was left host F. Whoa! Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Wow! Look at this. Neat. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know I could do all this in there.
Yeah. JS Fiddle wasn't gonna work. Plunker. Okay.
I'm just, I mean, because I'm looking at all the, so many tests. There's so many. There's like, I'm not coding at all. I'm just like trying to figure out tests. That's all I'm really doing.
Plunker, I think, has what you want because it has Jasmine 2.0. JS Fiddle wasn't working because it doesn't have either the Jasmine scripts by default, and the only one I could get was outdated. I haven't yet tried. Let me click add and see if I can get it to work. All right, so let's steal from the.
This is such a huge improvement. The big screen was a huge improvement.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That was big.
Wonder if I don't think it'll come out good if we just throw a bunch of Jasmine in there, but we'll see what happens. All right. What happens if we try to get this into Plunker? Or do I switch to JS?
I mean, if it's not, if you kind of looked at it and didn't think it was, whatever, worth the time, I'm using Angular, but I'm just wondering if there's something you go in and like play with Jasmine tests, like since there's so much of it I need to like look at now. They've got
it would be nice if the documentation would give you tests that you could play with, but it doesn't look like they all pass for whatever reason. When I just copy paste them in, which ones are failing? Spy on and return value. It's not.
Let me go to showed files. Virtual box view. just get one. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. No. Oh, you can go back just windowed by pressing host. Note that the host key is currently defined as none. Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Because I can use, I just use the device, it's fine. I'm kind of used to this setting.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that there's JS filler or anything that could do any better than what you've got there in Sublime.
Okay. And okay, that I wanted to figure out JS Fiddle because I wanted to know if I could actually use it to as a like an environment. And the second item was regex. I wanted to ask you because I think you'd probably be someone who finds regex to be intuitive.
No, I don't. It's not intuitive. It's just something you have to learn.
What did you use to learn regex?
My favorite tool is.
Because I've been Googling all around. Besides reading the book. Just not tons of regex.
Go to regexr.com.
What's that?
It lets you edit stuff live in your browser.
How does this work? How does this work?
You just got to change the regex. You basically put a regex in up top, and you put some text down below.
Okay, look, can you share your screen and show me?
I am
There's
sure.
Is there even like any instructions here? They have. Let's see examples.
No, it's a sandbox. So it does have some good examples, and I mean that's an example right there. But for instance, if you wanted to use regex to look for what's a good one? Let's go with let's go with digits. So we don't need all this stuff, I'm pretty sure. So you can start trying your, like this is the most, nothing is matched. Right. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm watching.
So you can start trying out little regex commands.
And then it matches with the text that's there at the bottom, underneath the gray bar.
Yeah, and you can obviously change this text. This is you put in your own text, you put in your own matcher, and you just start playing until you get it right.
Oh, I see. I get it. That's how it works.
And I haven't really. This is like the new version of the site. I haven't explored it yet, but they did have pretty useful stuff on the old one, and so I bet that the information up here is pretty good.
Okay. Cool.
So.
All right. Just it's nice to have one interactive because everything else I'm doing is reading.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know how you could possibly learn by reading.
Well,
that's insane.
They have some tutorial stuff, but
okay.
try. The one tutorial that I did find wasn't like freeform like this. The one interactive, it gives you set examples, but are very small. It's nothing like a big thing of text. Create regex. I need something that's a little bit, like this, like slightly higher level than what I've got.
Yeah. Sandbox.
Okay. Alrighty.
Sandboxes are the best way to learn.
Regexer. Okay, John. Thank you. I've taken up quite a bit of your time, but this was this is like a marathon.com. With the testing, it is because it's not really coding as I know coding certainly. So I'm trying to kind of like figure it out.
Takes a while to get used to. All right. Well,
Thank you.
glad I could help.
Yeah. Thanks. It's back to testing. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye bye.